Hey, so in this video I just want to briefly introduce the new AI assistant for Microthemer. So this is currently at the beta stage, but you're welcome to download it from your dashboard and try it out early. So I'm just going to select this header element here and then ask the AI to do something. So add a nice gradient. And you see it's applied a gradient to our header. I'll just turn off the highlighting so we can see it a bit better. Just added a very subtle grey gradient, one shade of grey and then a slightly darker shade of grey. It may be decided that very subtle gradients look nicer, and I would probably agree with that. Let's ask it to do something else. So increase the vertical padding. Okay, and what it does, it sends a prompt. Sometimes it requests more context so that it has all the information it needs to answer the question. And you see it's increased the spacing here above the title. And we're free to customize that. So I could, this is the CSS code that it's generated. So I could change that here to increase it. Or I could use the visual options. So I could go to the padding options here. Let's say I sync these, and then I can just use the slider to increase things however I like, to tweak things. And then when we're happy, we just go ahead and save our changes. Now let's just try something else. I'm going to select this date element here, and I'm going to say align to the right, make bold italic, and then fire that off. And then, yeah, it's moved our date over to the right, and it's bold and it's italic. So now let's try something a little bit more ambitious. I'm going to select this element here, which is the whole heading, the whole post element container, and I'm going to just copy in some text that I've written before, because this is a long prompt. So I'm saying add a dark background, give the text a contrasting color for all the child elements, remove the top margin, but set a large top padding. So the margin is shown in yellow with this yellow highlighting because we've got highlighting enabled, and the padding is on the left there with the purple. So send that, and then it requested a little bit more context, and then it has worked. It's created a selector here called main star. That means everything inside. That's why the highlighting is a bit crazy, so let's just turn that off. But that's worked pretty well for us. So let's just try again, maybe with just the same prompt. New section, but I'm going to say, I don't know, a dark green gradient. Yeah. And then everything else is the same. It can just hopefully set the text to white for us. And yeah, that's happened. And again, I'll turn the highlighting off. And that worked pretty well, so let's go ahead and save our changes. Now I just want to show you something that's a bit more ambitious, that sometimes works, that sometimes doesn't. So here I've selected the footer element, and I'm going to try and get it to remove this little thing here, this designed by attribution. So remove the designed by WordPress bit. And what this will require the model to do is look at the HTML and see if it can remove it. But it didn't quite get that right. So if it doesn't, if you're happy with your changes, it's good to save it. If you're not happy, then just hit the discard button here, and that'll just remove all of the unsaved AI changes. Now, as I'm recording this video at the moment, this feature's in beta, so there are certain things that the slightly more complex tasks that the model can't do, but I'm pretty hopeful that it will be able to do by the time this goes into production release, and that's just one example. So to remove this, to help out the model, what we're going to do is we're going to select this this element here, because we've already created, our AI has already created a selector, quite a broad selector using a star. So when I click on this, it selects all of them because there is an existing selector that sets them all and sets the color to white. So I'm just going to create an additional selector for this, just this one element here, just target one element, and save that. And then I'm going to say, okay, just remove this, please. Remove this. And we'll see if it can, hide the element, maybe I should say. Hide the element, because it misunderstood what I meant and removed the CSS. So there you go, that's worked. And as I'm happy with that, I'm just going to go ahead and save the changes, and that starts a new conversation now. And because I forgot to just show you something when I tried to remove that heading, that WordPress designed by attribution, I'm going to do something else. So remove the 2025 text. And so if it fails to implement exactly what you wanted it to do, there's a little thumbs up or thumbs down thing here, and if you give it a thumbs down, what it will do is it will review its work, and it might be able to improve it. But what it also does is it sends me an example of what you asked it and what it returned back. And that way it becomes a test case for me to improve the model, because I think over the next few weeks I'll be looking at all the things it's not so good at and then just tweaking programmatically how I guide the AI model, and then hopefully we can eliminate all of those and it will get things right most of the time. And also, actually, if you could click the thumbs up icon when it does well, that will actually really help me too, because I'll be using that for my test data to make sure that it continues to successfully do things that it can do right now, so I don't accidentally introduce some kind of regression. So I'm just going to discard that to bring back our changes as they were before. And before I go, I'd just like to point out that at the moment I've got the AI assistant docked to the right. So I've done that using, if you set any of the presets from large upwards, extra large, then that will happen. But if we go back to, say, the medium view, then we've just got a little icon here where we can just occasionally pull down the AI as and when we need it. So I hope this video has piqued your interest a little bit in the AI model. You can, as I say, it's in beta right now, so you can go and download that from your dashboard. There'll be a link at the bottom of your download area for this. The AI model is free to use during this beta period, so now is a good time to use it. Once it goes into production, there'll be a small cost that you can top up if you want to make use of it. I think that the state it's in right now is probably most useful to people who don't know that much about CSS or Microthemer and just want to, they know what they want to do and they just want to describe it. More experienced Microthemer users will probably just find that doing some of these changes would be just as quick using the visual interface, but I'm hopeful that the debugging tools that this assistant provides will provide a lot of value in the future once that's been developed. So, okay, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.